Where my steppers at? Can you be mine? Christmas on the west side, Christmas on the south side, Christmas on the north side, Christmas on the east side, Christmas on the west side, Christmas on the south side, Christmas on the north side, Christmas on the east side, all around the world. Baby, please come to me, let me be your fantasy. Baby, light the tree, I will be all that you need. Unwrap you underneath the mistletoe. We can sip some wine, kiss you from head to toe. Baby, don't you ever let me go. I want you to know it's alright. Wishing you'd be my boo. Can you please be my Christmas? Wrap your arms around me. Wishing please can you be with me, baby, on this Christmas? Step this way. Come on, baby, ride with me in my sleigh. Tonight we're gonna party, girl, it's time to play. Yeah, you gon' do it on Christmas Day and go all the way. Merry Christmas, babe. 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 Feliz Navidad, babe. Feliz Navidad. Wishing you'd be my boo. Can you please be my Christmas? Be my Christmas, babe. Be my Christmas, baby. Wishing please can you be with me, baby, on this Christmas? I got something very nice for you, and got your shorty baby too, baby. My stuff, right here, baby. Your stuff, my stuff, right here, baby. We want some gifts. Gotta have some gifts. We want some gifts. Gotta have some gifts. Christmas, baby. I got you your Christmas wish. Santa gave me your list, babe. Come wrap your arms around me. Wishing you'd be my boo. Can you please be my
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, the greatest hits of Ricky Hendon.
Yeah, that's the
greatest Christmas hits.
A Christmas song from Ricky Hendon. How awesome is that? Go look that up online. He said it's on the radio as well. So
just listen to our interview. Forget that. Just continually go and listen to the interview. And at the end of the interview, we play the song.
You know,
how about that, D?
I like where your head's at on that. I like where your head's at there. That's good. That's smart. Yeah, go check that out, everybody. Yeah, we'll play that song a few more times, I guess, leading up to the holiday. Your Ben Joravsky show for Wednesday, December 9th, is just moments away. But before we get into this, we need to thank the following companies for sponsoring this program, like the Chicago Reader. Subscribe to the Chicago Reader, chicagoreader.com, for the latest in all that's going on in the city of Chicago. Boy, you really need to check out the Chicago Reader. And today's Ben Joravsky show is brought to you by our good friends at the Chicago Federation of Labor. Ben, you do have a song of the day, and it is from the Isley Brothers. Shout out to Frank. Thank you for the request. It is Shout.
Makes me want to shout, da-da-da, and shout, da-da-da, shout, whoa, woo. When I saw the Isleys a couple of summers ago, they sang this song. Come on, everybody together. D, get up, shout, da-da-da-da-da, shout, da-da-da-da.
Yeah, a little bit softer now, please, Ben.
A little bit softer now, a little bit softer now. Well, look at young Dennis showing his knowledge of a little baby boomer music. Very impressive, young man.
I meant you
Very
singing.
impressive.
I meant you singing a little bit softer, please.
Oh,
Good
I
Lord.
thought that was a line in the song. Oh, well. Okay, sorry. Okay, I was a little bit softer now. A little bit softer now. Whoa. And then the crowd goes, whoa.
The Ben Joravsky Show starts now. It is Wednesday, December 9th, and live from my apartment in his attic, this is the Ben Joravsky Show. Today on the program, legendary Chicago journalist, Monroe Anderson. And now your host, Chicago Reader columnist Ben Joravsky.
Hello, everybody. Ben Joravsky here. We're calling this the Queen's Scambit Wednesday. And here's why.
Oh, brown line.
So, right on time. There you go. Hey, Rom. How's it going, man? I want that transportation job. Anyway, another day, another Trump scam. Got to give Donnie credit, man. I mean, it's like Donald Trump wakes up thinking, I got 70 million suckers who worship the ground I walk on. How can I scam them out of their money today? All right, technically, President Donnie's not the guy who cooked up this scam that I'm going to be talking about. It's the unknown owner of President Donnie's childhood home in the New York City borough known as Queens. Hence the nickname, get ready for this, Dr. D, the Queen's Scambit.
Was wondering where you were going with that one.
All right.
Scam, spent, Queens. Okay,
Scambit.
that's good.
Get it, guys?
Yeah.
A little pun, play on words there, huh? Yeah, I got a million of them. Anyway, let me break down this scam.
Wait, hold on. You got it. We got an email. Oh my God, Ben, you just got offered a job as a headline writer for the Chicago Sun-Times. Congratulations.
Thank you. You know, the Sun-Times, man.
We're gonna miss you.
Those puns. Let me see what their headline is today. Hold on. Now I have that. You Ray. Good. Here we go. It's about. We'll be talking about shot or not coronavirus vaccines. That's the headline in the Sun. They love little puns, don't they, D? Anyway, let's get back to the scam. All right, let me break it down for you. Young Donald spent the first 4 years of his life in a modest home built by his father, who's widely known as Daddy Donnie. Did you know that, D? Donald Trump's father's Daddy Donnie. Yes. The home is now owned by an unknown woman from China who wants to get rid of it. The problem is she can't find a sucker dumb enough to meet her asking price of $3 million. That's right. This modest home in this modest Queens neighborhood is going for $3 million. Why, you ask? Is the owner asking so much?
Why?
Good question.
Thanks.
That's because this owner was dumb enough to pay $2.14 million for it at an auction, which is double what comparable homes in the area go for. So yeah, you might say it's overpriced. Sucker. Before she owned it, the current owner, it was run as an Airbnb for MAGA people. We'll get more on that later. Anyway, the owner wants to sell. So how to sell a home that nobody wants to buy at the price she's asking? All night she thinks about it. What should I do? I want to sell it for $3 million, but the market won't get me $3 million. Everybody's laughing at me because I'm so dumb that I spend so much money on this crummy home owned by this con man president. And that's when it clicks. Click, con man. That's it. We'll con MAGA, who apparently love getting conned by Don. So, as the New York Times wrote it, and I owe this all to the New York Times because I read this article in the New York Times.
Thanks, New York Times.
It was one of those things, D, where reading a story going, like it was last night, honey, you can't believe this story. My poor wife puts up with me. Remember the other day? Honey, Eric Zorn's getting rid of his landline. Anyway, this story is even more important than that one. So follow me, folks. This is from the New York Times. Quote, the unusual real estate maneuver seeks to capitalize on the devotion of some of Mr. Trump's supporters in the hopes that the same commitment that has driven them to attend his large rallies sorry, I don't mean to laugh. His large rallies in the middle of a pandemic will also induce them to open their wallets. The sellers hope donations might also be fueled by an impulse to mollify Mr. Trump with a personalized parting gift as his presidential term nears its end. End of quote. That's a funny New York Times big word way of saying, let's con MAGA. So they set up a GoFundMe account and it reads, quote, love Trump? Thank President Trump by contributing to his campaign to buy his childhood home in his honor. End of quote. Like I said, I don't know much about the owner except this little tidbit that the New York Times picked up. Quote, shortly after the 2017 sale, a person with knowledge of the deal, but who was not authorized to speak about its details, confirmed that the person who purchased the president's childhood home was a woman from China, but would not disclose her name. All right, so we know it's somebody from China who was dumb enough to pay all that money back in 2017. So the owner of the house isn't talking, but the owner's real estate broker is a blabbermouth because he's trying to sell that house. Here's his pitch. Hey, everybody. No. That was my imitation of a blabbermouth real estate agent. Hi, everybody. I'm a real estate agent. I got to sell this house. This is what the real estate agent said. Technically, Donald Trump couldn't accept the home and say, great, I just got another property to add to my empire, but he's not going to do that. I believe if the president were to accept the property, he would do something with it to honor his presidency. It's either that or donate it to some charity. End of quote. Man, come on, real estate guy. You know Donald Trump's not going to give anything to charity. He wants it all for himself. Remember the last time Donald Trump had that charity? It was like a charity for veterans, and he ended up like scamming the veterans. The state made him pay back the veterans. Remember that? Donald Trump's not in business to give money to charity, real estate agent. Come on, dude. Previously, the home was owned by a company called Trump Birth House. Quote from the New York Times. It was offered as an $815 a night Airbnb rental. A cardboard cutout of Mr. Trump greeted visitors and guests, and I'm not making this part up, ladies and gentlemen, guests could sleep in a bedroom with a plaque that noted it was where President Donald J. Trump was likely conceived. End of quote. Apparently, this is like Viagra for MAGA devotees who suffer from erectile dysfunction. Hey, honey, quick, hop into bed. Just looking at that bed where Donnie was conceived is firing up my pistons.
He's like the new Elvis.
Anyway, the article closes with a bit of a reality, noting how unpopular Trump is in New York, where 72% of the city voted for Biden. And protests have been held outside of Trump Tower in Manhattan throughout his presidency. No problem, says the realtor, who's really trying to unload this property. Quote, there are plenty of people who love Donald Trump, including 70 plus million who voted for him, end of quote. In other words, if you put 70 million people into a giant virtual room, at least one of them is going to be dumb enough to fall for this scam. After all, they were dumb enough to vote for Donnie in the first place. We got a great show today, everybody. Monroe Anderson will be here. Let me tell you something about Monroe Anderson.
What?
He didn't fall for the Trump scam. Oh, no, no, no. But we'll see if Monroe's willing to kick in a little to the GoFundMe page so they can give this home, raise $3 million to pay the owner of this home who overpaid for it in the first place, and then she will supposedly give it to Donnie as a present. He could do whatever he wants with it. It's a modest home. It's a small home. Some have suggested it could be, the presidential library. He doesn't really read a lot of books, D. So, you don't need a lot of room for books. We'll see if Monroe Anderson wants to kick in a little to this GoFundMe page. I doubt it, but we'll see. Anyway, plenty of political talk ahead. Before we do that, the young man from Alton, the man whose home in Alton is up for sale as Dr. D's Palace, with the news.
All lies. How's it going, everybody?
Hold on, I gotta turn the heat off. It's hot in here.
No one called.
I
Yeah,
feel the
yeah,
heat.
yeah.
Hold on.
I can kind of hear it. We're doing a podcast, my man. Come on. Let's turn that heater off.
Ah!
There we go. Ooh, it sounds wonderful.
As the song says, the heat is on.
Well, now it's off. But how's it going? I'm Dennis. Let's find out what's happening in Chicago and or Illinois this week. We begin in Illinois, and we begin with the Illinois governor.
Best concert? You had Steve Miller Band and the Eagles.
Loves those damn bands. Today, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker will be at the Thompson Center for his 2:30 p.m. COVID-19 press briefing. A quick update on Tuesday's press briefing. A vaccine is on the way. It's expected next week, with more to come in the near future. Here's Dr. Ezike of the Illinois Department of Public Health.
It will take months to roll out the vaccine to the priority groups, and even longer for it to be given to the general public. I ask that people be patient.
But what do you want people to understand?
I hope people will understand that, yes, there will be people that will get the vaccine before you, but we are hoping for everyone to get this vaccine in the coming year.
Interesting. Very interesting. Ben Joravsky, your thoughts?
Well, I got conflicting thoughts here, D. And so last night when I was reading the New York Times, I think it was the New York Times, or may have been the Tribune, I can't remember. And they were talking about how the vaccines, people in England were getting vaccinated. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is great, man. This is the beginning of the end. And pretty soon I'll be able to go to visit my daughter for Thanksgiving in California. And I'll be able to go to my beloved movie theaters and see my Bulls, my beloved Bulls. They look actually like they may be good this year. Kobe White, ladies and gentlemen, for 3. Sorry.
I mean, to be fair, you do say that every year, right before the season. But, you know.
I know. I'm such a sucker. Maybe, and White Sox. Oh, my God. This was the summer that El Dragon and I were going to go to a bunch of White Sox games. Remember El Dragon? We were going to go to all those White Sox games. And my buddies Norm.
Oh, yeah,
Cal.
the foul-mouthed guy that comes on our show.
Yeah. We were going to get like the season ticket plan, and it was our big plan. We were all into the Sox, man. This is the year. Then the pandemic comes. I can't go to White Sox games. I can't go to see my beloved Bulls. I can't go to movies. Can't visit my daughters. I'm stuck in the attic. I'm looking at the porta potty. So, yeah, I saw that article. I think it was in the Trib. I can't remember where. It doesn't matter. And I go, yes. It's the beginning of the end. And then I get my beloved bright one, home delivered as always. Oh, this bright one has a way of raining on my parade, D. I hadn't thought of this. Front page headline, shot or not. And it's a picture of a nurse who works at Stroger Hospital. And coronavirus vaccines will be offered first to healthcare workers. This is the subhead, but some are hesitant to be inoculated because of hastened development. And I'm like, I hadn't thought of that. I mean, what the hell are they putting on our arms? What are they putting in our bodies? I'm reading this article, and this nurse who's she's pretty smart. And she's saying into the Sun Times, it's like, she's pointing out that usually with vaccines, they take years and years of study and research for the consequences, In this case, it's months and months. I'm like, is this thing safe? I mean, I know Donnie Trump is telling us it's safe. He had a press conference yesterday. He said, hallelujah, we got this new vaccine. It's a miracle. And I'm like, why would I believe something that Donald Trump says? Now, I know you're saying, Ben, no, Donald Trump's about ready to leave office, and Joe Biden's coming in, and Joe Biden will say it's safe. And Obama, Barack Obama, and Bill Clinton, I love Dr. D, have both said that they intend to take the vaccine as soon as they can to prove to the public how safe it is. But I'm still a little nervous, D. You know, just like this nurse raises some good points. And I don't know, something cynical in me is like, yeah, let's see, like how the first 5 or 10 million people do with this thing, or I'll be hanging out in my attic and watch.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like when the PlayStation or the Xbox drops. You know what I mean? You don't want that first batch of them. You know what I mean? They want to work the bugs out, and then you get it a few months later. You know what I mean?
I guess I understand the analogy, but I have a confession to make. I don't even know what PlayStation is. I'm embarrassed. When I talk to millennials, they know. I'm like, I know PlayStation. Is that the one with it's a baseball game or a basketball game? And
tons of games.
Tons of games. Anyway, but your point's well taken. The first thing that comes off the assembly line, a little nervous about. So I don't know, D. I was so excited that this was the beginning of the end, and now I'm like, will this thing ever end? Not quite sure. That Sun-Times headline sobered me up a little bit. And the nurse at Stroger Hospital got me thinking, it's kind of rushing things. I don't know. Are you nervous about it, D? Or are you cool, calm, and collected?
Cool, calm, and collected, baby. Cool as a cucumber,
All right. All right. Well, let you take it before me, and I'll observe you for a while.
All right. I tell you what. You know what? You take it before me, and then we'll talk about it then. How about that, huh?
No. We'll do it the other way. You take it. I'll look at you on this little screen I have, and if you suddenly start growing a third ear, I'll be like,
all right. I'm calling for a post-show meeting. We got to talk about this. Right. Shout out to Jay Marie on the live stream chat. She brings up a very, very good point, one that I haven't even thought of. We've been doing this show in your attic. Now we're in my apartment. You're still in your attic. Jay Marie, and the whole time, by the way, a porta potty's been there. Jay Marie says, boy, Ben should really call his alderman if that porta potty is still there.
Well, it's a great point. It is still there. And I just looked at it to make sure it hadn't been taken. Jay Marie, there's a construction zone right near where I live, and that's what the porta potty's for. And the construction pretty much shut down because of the pandemic. Bad timing, you might say. But for reasons I'll never know, they left the porta potty there. My alderman's got enough on his problems. Enough problems he's got to deal with. But could you just, I'll bet you anything, Jay Marie, there's somebody on the block who's already called the alderman. Alderman, the porta potty, I told you, it is really disturbing me.
What a good neighbor. Going on a podcast, doing impressions of your neighbor. Oh, boy.
I called multiple times about the porta potty, and it is still there.
Catch him at the next neighborhood potluck. Ben Joravsky. Also, shout out to Jay Marie. She weighed in on the vaccine. She said, but, coronavirus isn't new. They probably have been working on this for a while. Not that I still trust it.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jay Marie. Oh, my God, I don't know. Like I said, we're going to have a post-show production meeting, and we'll determine which employee of the Ben Joravsky Show will take the vaccine first. What's the lady in graphics? I forgot her name. Viv? Is that her name? Dave?
Vilma.
Oh, Vilma. Well, maybe make Vilma take it first.
She quit. She's gone.
Vilma's gone?
Yeah, she's out of here.
Oh, my God. Who's doing all the great, sound effects? Who's doing them?
WBEZ, if you're listening, that was it's been me the entire time.
By the way,
my resume's in that pile somewhere. What?
Can I let a WBEZ cat out of a WBEZ bag?
If you do the impression of cat out of the bag. Deal.
Just cut a deal with young Danny Mielopoulos. He's coming on next week, and we're going to do a Mad Dog deep dive. Oh, yeah. Nothing but Madigan talk for an hour. 45 minutes. Two geeks geeking out on Madigan.
Well, it's always a good time, though, with Danny. Long overdue. We haven't had him on in a while, so I'm glad we're doing that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Expect that to drop in the near future. The Chicago Reader website and wherever else you download your favorite podcast. All right, so let's go uber local now. And let's find out what's happening in Chicago and or Illinois. And basically, let's get really uber local right from the top. And we begin with news about the Secretary of State. Ooh, yeah. Boy, we're getting into it today. At the moment, our Secretary of State here in Illinois is Jesse White. I'm sure you're somewhat familiar with him, listeners. You get mail from him quite a bit, I bet. And he's the guy in all of those pictures at the DMV. But sadly, all of those pictures will be coming down soon. Last year, Jesse White announced that he will not be seeking a 7th term. And so, the race for Secretary of State begins. Now, Ben, before we talk about our 2022 SOS hopefuls, and honestly, I can't remember if I've asked you this before, but you're pretty old. Any memories?
Yes, indeed.
Any memories or stories of Secretary of State Jesse White?
Oh, man, I got so many memories and so many stories of Jesse White. We don't have enough time to even begin to accommodate them. But I am old, and I'm so old that I remember when Jesse White was a gym teacher at Jenner School on the north side of Chicago. Jenner School, just off of Division, in what used to be called the Cabrini Green neighborhood. Millennials forget it. You know what? I'm not even going to tell millennials what Cabrini Green was. So yeah, I watched Jesse White rise through the ranks. He got to start in politics with George Dunn, who was the old Democratic committeeman from the 42nd Ward. This is in the days when the 42nd Ward was largely concentrated on the near north side. It included the Gold Coast and Cabrini Green, so it included neighborhoods filled with rich white people and neighborhoods filled with poor black people. So just think about the juggling act there. And Jesse White got his start. He was the precinct captain in the Cabrini Green area where the poor black people lived. And he became a state rep, I want to say. And then he became, I think he was the county clerk for a while, or the clerk of the circuit court. And then he became Secretary of State, and he had his Jesse White tumblers. So I watched him rise through the ranks, and he's just so incredibly popular. Jesse White is. I mean, I like take deep dives into voting patterns in downstate in Illinois, MAGA country, where they have Pritzker sucks signs. And they voted heavily against the fair tax. And they like Jesse White down there. Like something about Jesse White. Everybody likes Jesse White. Maybe it's because he's never had to do anything remotely controversial in his entire political career. That helps. Maybe they like the Jesse White tumblers. You know, he had the group of tumblers from Cabrini Green all the time.
He's got a future in liquor sales. If you think about it. Jesse White tumblers, like a thing to make a little mixed drink. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Jesse White tumblers. That's good.
It's Zanies next week. Actually, hey, Sun Times headline writers. Dr. D's your guy.
No, the email's for you.
It's really hard act to follow, Jesse White, because he's just so widely popular. And again, it's largely because he's never had to take a tough stand, in his life. He's never like an alderman who's had to make a tough vote on a property tax hike, a vote that would irritate either property taxpayers or the Fraternal Order of Police or the Chicago Teachers Union. You never had to upset anybody. So that may explain why he's so popular. That and the tumblers. And the tumblers are not something you mix a drink in.
But it can be in your next future endeavor.
Because I know there's some millennials out there going, oh, they call him the tumblers because he was a bartender. I did not know that. No, that was just a joke. Millennials. That was just Dennis making
a bunch
joke.
of gymnasts are just offended right now. All right, we got here too. Just to ask the question. Dude's 86 years old, so there's no chance he decides to run again, right?
I don't know. These days, I mean, think about it this way. Biden's 78. He's the president-elect. If he runs for re-election, he'll be 86 when he leaves office. You know what I'm saying? So it's like 86 is now the new 66. So I don't know. I mean, I doubt he's going to run for anything, but Donnie Trump, what is Donnie? 74, right? Mm-hmm. Donnie's 74. And he's already making it clear that he wants to run in 2024, anything to stay out of prison. So if young Donald will be 78 when he gets elected, if he were to defeat Joe Biden. So you know what I'm saying, D? Anything is possible in this day and age. But my guess is Jesse White's had enough, and he is going to retire.
All right. So, yeah, Jesse White will be out more than likely. So now let's get to our potential Secretary of State candidate. There's the brown line.
Hey, Rom. How you doing? Yep. Still not been named Transportation Secretary, huh? Don't hold your breath, big guy. Sorry, dude.
Our potential Secretary of State candidates. Who's been dreaming about their DMV poster photo shoot? Well, we have 3 names so far. First up, he expressed his interest a couple of weeks back, and honestly, I have been avoiding the story because his last name looks really hard to pronounce. But Ben helped me out before today's show, and I think I got it now. He's former Illinois State Treasurer Alexei G. Anulis. Is that right, Ben?
Very well. Excellent, man.
Yes.
Give yourself a raise and take it out of petty cash.
Thank you. Giannoulis was treasurer from 2007 to 2011. And if you couldn't tell, I'm unfamiliar with this guy. You know what I mean? But I did find some Alexei audio. And I have learned one thing. This dude's Barack Obama imitation is incredible.
In many respects, a lot of people in this country fear change. I think a lot of people aren't ready for something different. Again, you had folks who didn't want there to be interracial marriage. You had folks who didn't want people of a different race or color to be able to sit in the same restaurant.
Was that Barack Obama? No.
Oh, my God.
It was Alexei Giannoulis.
Where'd you get that? Do you remember?
Got it on YouTube.
How old is it? Do you know?
10 years ago.
10 years ago. Hold on. Dan Biss moment. I'm doing the math. Oh, 2010. He was probably saying that in his. Yes! Obama was the rage in 2010.
Was the rage.
When listening to that was so Obama. The pauses. And then the, there's a pause. Like you're really thinking hard. So I'll do it. So Dr. D comes from Alton. Good town.
There are still folks who think that women should make as much money as men for the exact same job.
And Dr. D's from Alton.
Yeah,
people say
your Bill Clinton's a lot better. Your Bill Clinton is just top notch. I got to say.
No, that's my Alex Giannoulis imitating Obama. It's not my Obama.
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. That's heady. That's heady.
Yeah. So listening to Giannoulis reminds me. Follow me on this, D. Okay, follow me on this. Reminds me of the first time I heard Kobe Bryant talk. The late great Kobe Bryant, who had studied Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Oh my God, hold on. Let me just say this. Political nerds, these are basketball players I'm talking about. Okay. So he's clearly studied Michael Jordan, had watched interviews of Jordan playing. So he started talking like Jordan. You get what I'm saying? So you could tell Giannoulis was really studying Obama the way Kobe Bryant studied Jordan. I'm not going to do my Kobe Bryant imitating Michael Jordan imitation, D, but that's Giannoulis.
Do it. Let's get real deep. Let's do some layered imitations. It's like when you watch Looney Tunes and you see Bugs Bunny do Daffy Duck, but in a Bugs Bunny voice. You know what I mean? Let's get deep.
So as I say it, Dr. D from Alton, Miles Davis, Alton. Now I'm moving into Jesse Jackson. That's how he would go. Jesse Jackson would go, Dr. D, Alton, Miles Davis, Alton. It's just like a refrain. Now suddenly Alton's a refrain. Love the young Jesse Jackson when he goes on a roll. And so there are those who say, Alton, Dr. D, Alton. Anyway, no one imitates Jesse Jackson anymore, He was the rage too back in the day, B. Back in the 80s.
I like how talking like Barack Obama was like bell bottoms or something. It's the rage. Everybody's doing it.
In many respects, a lot of people in this country fear change. I think a lot of people aren't ready for something different. Again, you had folks.
Can I just say something about fearing change 2010? Let me just say this. The president you're imitating was fearing change because if you recall, Barack Obama, when he was a state senator from Hyde Park, was for gay marriage. Then when he was running for senator for the whole state of Illinois, he realized, could cause me trouble downstate. And suddenly he was against gay marriage. And then he ran for president, really against gay marriage. And then suddenly when he was successfully reelected and could not be defeated again, all of a sudden he's for gay marriage. So
Brandon, it's called the flip-flop. It's when you go back and forth on a issue, you know, like flag in the wind.
It's a flip-flop. At least when I do it a flip-flop, I call it a flip-flop. Barack Obama called it an evolution. Oh, my views on gay marriage have evolved.
So aside from his blatantly obvious imitation of Barack Obama, what do we know about this Alexei feller?
All right. How much time do I got? Between Jesse White and D, I know too much. That's my problem. I've been following politics for too long. My dear friend, Mick Dumke, wrote a lengthy article about Alexei Julian. I can't pronounce his name, Giannoulis, back for the Reader in 2010. So I urge everybody to check it out. But I did not vote for him. Must make a confession. He ran. All right. Giannoulis was the treasurer, and he comes from Chicago. I believe he went to Latin High School. D. How about that, huh? And so he comes from money. His family owned a bank. And so follow me on this. He was running to fill out Obama's senatorial vacancy after Obama was elected to be the president of the United States. There still was, I think, 2 more years. Yes. Is that right? 2 more years? No. It was. I've lost track of how many years were in the vacancy. Doesn't matter. The point is he was running for Obama's seat. And this was in the middle of a crisis in the banking industry, and banks were going bankrupt and needing bailouts. And so I was like, why would the Democrats nominate as their candidate a guy whose family bank was in trouble, was receiving federal assistance? You know what I mean? It's sort of like, why would you do that? Like, I don't get it. I know he's tall. I know he's friends with Barack Obama. I know they played basketball together. I know he was charming and good looking and he had that Obama thing, but why?
We know he stood outside his window and listened to him and recorded his voice and tried imitating it in the mirror for about 4 months,
Dennis, great guy. Did you see Obama when he was on the Breakfast Club last week?
No.
He kept calling good question, Charlemagne. Charlemagne was grilling him. Oh my God. Anyway, so yeah, Giannoulis, he lost for 10 trivia points. D, who did Giannoulis lose to?
Mark Kirk.
How did you know that?
He's got a knack for knowledge. Got a knack for knowledge.
I, in a million years, never thought. You must have looked it up. That is really good.
No, actually, shout out to Frank. He was talking about it in the live stream.
Oh, Frank, gotta give you some love. Yes, Mark Kirk mopped the floor with Giannoulis. Heck of a job, Dems. You put up a failed banker in the middle of a banking crisis. You couldn't even win Obama's seat. Don't get me started on my Democrats. Anyway, Tammy Duckworth mopped the floor with Mark Kirk, and that ends the Mark Kirk experiment in the state of Illinois. Thank you very much, voters of Illinois. So yeah, so Giannoulis is trying to make a comeback. He was the state treasurer, so now he wants to be Secretary of State, and he's got to talk like Barack Obama. And
No, we're going to see a new interview with him, and he's going to be like, "Listen, everybody, I'm running." 10%. You take 10% of the state, and I'll be secretary of that state. Okay?
No, he's not a Bernie type. He is a Dem through and through. Okay,
that'd be hilarious.
He is not a Bernie type. My beloved Bernie Sanders. No, he is oh my God, he is definitely of the Joe Biden variety of Dem. And hey, my good friend Pete Cunningham may go work for him. I don't know. He's kind of a PC type of candidate. And Alexei is not a Bernie. He won't be speaking like Bernie. He may be.
Alexei, your hair is disheveled. What is going on here? I think that we should not be the Secretary of State. Well, you've changed.
Yeah. Nah, don't see that change coming. More like, what about he'll become like a J.B. Pritzker type. He'll love the Eagles and puppies.
I think we're gonna, I'm gonna be Secretary of State. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, that's what it'll be like. So yeah, I'm not rushing out for. Talk to Mick Dumke. Guy spent hours with the dude, man. Wrote a long article about Alexei in the Reader. You can find it in the Reader.
All right, on to our next person considering a Secretary of State race run. And I don't know who she has impersonations of, all right? She's Cook County Clerk Karen Yarborough. Back in December, Karen Yarborough said that she's giving a run for Illinois Secretary of State, quote, great consideration. She said, I haven't made a decision yet, but I'm thinking about it. I've been thinking about it for a long time. She also stated that she definitely wouldn't run should Secretary of State Jesse White decide to seek re-election. Ben, Karen Yarborough, what do you think?
Well, Karen Yarborough's former state rep. She just got elected clerk. So I don't know, man. It's like, even for Illinois, that's kind of fast. You just got elected to the one position. Now you're going to run for the other position. Now, traditionally, the way things have gone traditionally, they're always, the Democrats try to have a racially balanced ticket. And so you figure, well, it's Jesse White, a black man, so it should be either a black man or a black woman who gets the nomination to succeed him. That's traditionally. Now, I don't know if we're going to break for tradition. Kwame Raoul is the Attorney General, so maybe there's not a feeling that you have to balance a ticket that way. But I don't know, D. Is it just me? But it kind of fast. You just got elected to this one office. Well, now I'm thinking about Barack Obama was elected senator in 2004. Help me with the math here, D. And
I don't know. Let's ask Barack Obama.
Folks who didn't want there to be interracial.
Oh, wait, that was Alexei Giannoulis.
And so he was already running for president in 2007. I just realized something. Alexei was not running to fill out the term. He was running for a full term himself. I sit corrected, D.
That's never happened before.
How can I forget Roland Burris, named by Governor Blagojevich to fill out the term? How could I forget that? I was always a fan of Roland Burris. Oh, confession time. I always liked Roland Burris. I thought he got a really bum rap after Blago named him to fill a vacancy. Suddenly everybody was like high and mighty about Roland Burris, because Blago. And it's just, and by the way, Republicans ripping Roland Burris. Oh, same Republicans who love Blago these days? Huh? That's your guy, Republicans? Huh? That's my Bill Burr imitation. That's your guy, huh?
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. That's your guy, huh? That's your guy that you love? Rod Blagojevich, huh? Republicans? I love Rod Blagojevich, ladies and gentlemen, the Republicans these days.
I'm a Trump.
Oh, yeah, but back in 2009, Trumpocrat. Back in 2009, they ripped Roland Burris. How unfair of them. I thought Roland Burris was a good guy. Anyway, so yeah, I apologize to my listeners for confusing you by saying he was running to fill out the term. In fact, he was running for a full term. Alexei Giannoulis. So yeah, I think it's too soon for Karen Yarborough, even if Barack Obama was immediately running for president after getting elected senator.
All right, we got one more. Our third and final Secretary of State hopeful. She just recently expressed her interest. The following comes from the Chicago Sun-Times and Fran the Woman Spielman, arguing that it's time for a, quote, new generation of leaders. City Clerk Anna Valencia said Tuesday she's forming an exploratory committee to run to succeed retiring Illinois Secretary of State Jesse White. Valencia is originally a downstater from my home area of the 618, Madison County, also known as Region 4 in Governor Pritzker's 5-phase mitigation strategy to safely reopen Illinois. Granite City, Illinois, home of the Granite City Speedway, and yes, the famous but now closed Taco Lay Wednesday Chicken Wing Buffet. Damn, I missed that place. Anna
Can we
Valencia,
take a field trip as soon as the pandemic's over?
it's closed.
But aren't they going to reopen it?
No, it's been gone for years.
Without the pandemic?
It's been gone for years. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Damn, it was good. Anna Valencia will turn 36 next month. Here's the quote from Valencia. Quote, "What I bring to the table is energy and excitement. People are ready for a new candidate who shares their lived experiences like women and young people, working class families such as the one that I grew up in. That will excite people and give some momentum. We're going to have our very first female vice president. Voters are looking for that. Some fresh faces in the Democratic Party. I can bring that to the ticket along with my downstate roots, being the first Latina to run for Secretary of State and the first woman that could possibly sit there."
Well, I like the downstate roots. You know, I'm a big believer in trying to diversify things with the Democratic Party and not just be a party of Chicago and Cook County. You know, guys, you might want to think about the rest of the state a little bit. But I have a confession to make, Dean. I'm a little embarrassed to make this confession. And this is this. And I don't know, this is not fair. I admit this is not fair as I say my confession. But Anna Valencia was appointed to her position by one Rahm Emanuel, Mayor Rahm, who just drove by on the brown line. You know, anything to show Joe Biden that he deserves to be transportation secretary. And I just got a bias against people who work for Rahm. Now you're going to go, Ben, that's so unfair of you. They're good people. I know that's what you're thinking, D. I know you. Been around you a long time. You go, I'm really disturbed by this confession of yours.
You know me. You know me.
You're right, D. What can I say? It's just like there was so much like malignancy in the Rahm Emanuel administration. Just so much like deceit with the way that man ran Chicago.
Take a chill pill, man.
I know, Rahm, I should take a chill pill and just wake up in the morning and love you, but it's hard. I just wrote about this in the Reader, but I was reminiscing about how you closed those 50 schools. Just thought about that. How you closed those mental health clinics. How you raised our taxes to give money for all these TIF deals that nobody wanted or needed. How when you left office, one parting gift, kick in the face, Lincoln Yards. Uh-oh. Here comes it. Let's see if Rahm's on this brown line.
Yeah, I'm curious. I am curious.
Yeah, there he is. He's wearing his little railroad engineer cap. Hey, Rahm. He really wants that transportation job, D. He's just like every brown line that comes by, he's driving. Joe Biden, I can drive a train. I know a lot about transportation. So I just the way he ran government, and then I'm not even getting into Laquan McDonald. You know, concealing evidence of a murder. I still don't know how he's gotten away with that. So it's just, I have this natural bias. That's probably not fair. For all I know, Anna Valencia is a wonderful person. I never met her. And a quality administrator. I don't know anything about her, D, other than Rahm appointed her. And I know what you're thinking. You're going, Ben, that is so unfair of you. I could see it. I could see that in your brain right now. That's what you're thinking.
No, I'm thinking like I may have seen her at Taco Lay at that Wednesday chicken wing buffet. She's like the same age as me.
No, I know where you saw her. I remember. I'll tell you the moment where you saw her. It was Alderwoman Sue Sadlowski Garza's Labor Day parade.
Oh, yeah.
Back in 2018. And your dear friend, candidate, Lori Lightfoot, was circulating petitions to get on the ballot, and you posed for a photo with her.
Oh, yeah. Let's remind everyone of that.
Yeah, I got that, folks. I can put that on anytime I want on the old Facebook page. And Anna Valencia was at the parade too, circulating petitions. I remember that. So I think that's the only time I've ever seen her. Anyway, you know, more the merrier, D. But how about a real downstater? Whoa. You know, how about Bob Diber? You know what I'm saying? Someone who like lives downstate right now.
Don't tease me, Ben. Don't tease me. My goodness. My heart's aflutter thinking about that.
Just like a real Democrat from downstate with democratic values, New Deal values, you know, who could promote the notion of government as like a beneficial tool for all of us. How about that? Wouldn't that be radical? Uh-oh, round line. Hey, Rom. Huh? Oh, right. He just said, go easy on Valencia. Okay. All right, Rom.
Wait, oh my God, he does have a cinnamon roll in his hand.
We'll get to you, old Tommy Tunney, in a little bit. So, I don't know. That's just my general thoughts. And I humbly apologize to all my listeners for having to make that confession of a bias for anybody who worked for Rahm Emanuel, against anybody who worked for Rahm Emanuel. Just had to come out with that, D. Sorry about that.
Well, that's all right. I'm glad you got it off your chest, you know? That's good. That's good. So there you are. An update pretty early as hell on the 2022 Illinois Secretary of State race. Which candidates will we find out that will want to run again? We don't know. We're going to find out soon. And once again, boy, that guy really sounds like Barack Obama.
You had folks who didn't want people of a different race or color to be able to sit in the same restaurant.
If he goes too far, that he'll go into Rauner country. You know what I'm saying, D?
Oh, God.
He doesn't start doing those Alexi, I'm just saying, you gotta watch it because it's a thin line between Barack and Rauner.
Yes, there's a thin line between and
Wait, one more time. And all right, here we go. We'll do this. Ready? So I'm going to throw out names, and you do their little.
Okay. What is this? A jukebox?
Okay.
No. Go ahead.
Number one, Rauner.
Ugh.
Number two, Barack. Number three, JB. And number four, Lori Lightfoot.
Not doing that, dude.
Okay, just sorry.
I'd like us to keep having a show, Ben. I do that for us. You know what I mean?
Maybe we should have an auction. Like, listeners have to auction for the right. Oh, I got this idea from that brilliant property owner in New York, you know, with the GoFundMe page. Hey, let's give a gift to Donald Trump. Let's raise money right now. Give your money right now to me, and then I'll give this house that I can't get any other person to buy to Donald Trump, who doesn't even want it. Well, God, what a genius move. And MAGA people everywhere. Ugh, where do I kick in? Oh, God. You know, John Cass at the Tribune. Oh, sounds good to me. I'll kick in. Oh, big boy Darren Bailey's like writing a check right now. Queen's Home. Darren D.B. Bailey. And every other Republican candidate say, well, D.B. kicked in. So, you know, now Bill Brady's writing a check. I got to show how much I'm loyal to MAGA. Anyway, that's what we should do, Dean. We should have an auction. And the winner of the auction pays the most money to us, gets to hear your imitation of Lori Lightfoot.
Oh, what a prize. Good Lord.
Yeah.
That is correct.
DB. Better write that check, DB. Hurry up now. Get that money in and over to the childhood home of Donald Trump.
By the way, the Darren Bailey noise is, hey, that's what that one is. Hi. What are we doing today? Okay. So with the time we have left here, Ben and I had a pre-show meeting. That's something new. And he discussed something with me that he can't get it off. He can't get it off his mind. And he wants to talk about it here on the program. And that is...
You have to be a good neighbor. You have to be a good neighbor. Otherwise, I'm going to be up your butt every day.
Oh, what a weird statement, but it is Alderman Tom Tunney, and I guess what we're now calling the Cinnamon Roll Speakeasy.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, Tom Tunney. You didn't think I was going to let you off the hook so easy, did I? Did you? Huh? Tommy Tunney? Huh? Every other restaurant owner in the city of Chicago shut down following the orders of J.B. Pritzker? You, an alderman? Chairman of the zoning committee, one of the most powerful aldermen in the city of Chicago, one of the most influential people in the city of Chicago, routinely elected by the voters of the 44th Ward, who are about as bright as MAGA supporters in Michigan, just saying. Yeah, you, Tom Tunney. You're the guy You called it a mistake because you opened up your restaurant in defiance of J.B. Pritzker's order. D, I got to give shout out to a place I've never given a shout out to before. You ready for this? I'm going to give a shout out to the Chicago Tribune editorial board. Yes, Michael Girardi, get ready to write a new song. A shout out to the Tribune editorial board. Hold on, let me get the Tribune out.
Please get it out.
Hold on. Generally, the Tribune editorial board is a pretty worthless outfit.
All right. Well.
Wait, so for the shout out,
Yeah. That's not a nice thing to say after a shout out, but go ahead.
Union busting bunch that love Bruce Rauner just a little too much.
Oh, wait, we're canceling that shout out.
But anyway, it was from the Chicago Tribune editorial that I learned that there was a code you had to use to get into the speakeasy. Now, let me just back up in case anybody missed this story. Hold on. That's me backing up or missed yesterday's show. Tom Tunney, alderman of the 44th Ward. Tom Tunney, Mayor Lori Lightfoot's hand-picked chairman of the zoning committee, one of the most powerful men in the Chicago City Council, also owns a restaurant called Ann Sather's. And Ann Sather's is located on Belmont in Lakeview in the middle of the 44th Ward. And Tom Tunney and his restaurant are known, and let's give him credit, D, for delicious cinnamon rolls. And he makes those cinnamon rolls, and people in the 44th Ward have been buying those cinnamon rolls. They love those cinnamon rolls so much, they will vote for Tom Tunney no matter what he does. So anyway, it turns out that Tom Tunney was running his restaurant illegally in the face of declaration by J.B. Pritzker that all restaurants stop indoor dining. He was running it even though he knew better, even though he's an alderman, even though he knows the law, even though he knows all of his other restaurants in and around Lakeview are shut, that they're struggling. Oh, he thinks he's above the law. Thanks, Tom Tunney, for really making Democrats everywhere look bad. And the Tribune, they hate Democrats. So they're like, yeah, they're jumping all over it. I don't blame them. Tom Tunney deserves it. So anyway, they got their information from Second City Cop, which is a blog that Dennis runs. We just revealed that yesterday.
Yep. It's all me, guys. It was me all along.
Anyway, I didn't know this. See, I did this whole riff yesterday. I was like, it was a cinnamon roll speakeasy. You went in there and you gave the magic word and they let you in the back like speakeasies in the old days. I did this whole riff and I didn't know it literally was like that, D. Here, quoting from the Chicago Tribune editorial, something that has never been done on the Ben Joravsky Show. Here's the Tribune editorial. The Chicago blog, Second City Cop, outed Tunney in a post that detailed the alleged scam in detail. Quote, you enter the restaurant and ask the staff on the sly, can we dine in? I can't believe this. Then they'll look around and whisper, yes, and take you to the VIP room. It was actually a speakeasy. I was joking. I'm like, oh my God, it was. Remember I had the knock? That was my, I was joking. It turns out he was doing that. Hold on, train going by. Oh my God, you're not kidding. Rom's eating the cinnamon roll. Hey, put that cinnamon roll down. You're getting the wheel sticky. Damn it.
The wheel. Yes.
It's like a wheel that you turn. The wheels on the bus go around. So Tom Tunney had a secret code. I thought it was a joke. It's like a riff. Turns out it's real. I don't know. And there's got to be a better punishment for him. I think he should lose his zoning chair. I really do. Mayor Lori Lightfoot, I know you're listening to the show. You listen to the show all the time. You really love Dennis's imitations of J.B. Pritzker. But I really think there should be some consequences. I'm sorry. This is such an egregious violation of absolutely everything. There should be some consequences. But, D, I got a feeling there'll be no consequences. You know what I'm saying? Like, let this one pass. Okay, how about we talk about it for the next 6 months, D? Every day we talk about Cinnamon Roll Gate. Anyway, so I want to give a shout out to the Tribune editorial. Okay. They, You know, they had the inside dope. Actually, I should give a shout out to Second City Cop. They're the ones who really had the inside. So shout out to Second City Cop.
Oh, I never thought that would happen either.
Yeah, well, I gave him a shout out yesterday as well. Hey, man, come on. They had the scoop. You got to show them some love, right, D?
Yeah.
Anyway, Tom Tony, what a disgrace. What a disgrace.
Now, did it say what the passcode was?
Yeah, the passcode was, I'm telling you, the passcode was, can we dine in? What a terrible passcode.
Oh, that was it? I thought it'd be like,
yeah, that's the passcode.
Yummy in my tummy. Oh, okay, come on in here.
No. Uh-oh, here it goes again.
All right.
Oh, my God, he's eating a pancake. No, Rob's eating a pancake. No, you know, like usually the passcodes, like I've read a lot of spy novels and seen a lot of spy movies. This passcodes, like passwords are like a little more complicated. Does the eagle fly? Yes, the eagle flies on Sunday, but this day it will be walking. Oh, come on in then. You know what I mean? Something like complicated that you got to remember. But this one is, you know, can we dine in? You know what? Knowing me, I would blow it. I would like somehow or other screw the password up. Can we eat in? I'm sorry. No.
I'm hungry. Okay, get lost.
Anyway, yesterday, Tony was like, I did this for my patrons who really needed those cinnamon rolls, and they were wearing masks. Like, how could you wear a mask and eat the cinnamon roll? Hello.
And let's be honest, who needs a cinnamon roll?
And now his new thing, yeah, right, who needs a cinnamon roll? Now his whole new thing is, well, since the city's investigating, I can't comment anymore. Oh, God. He probably hired some PR guy who said, all right, here's what you're going to do. Just tell him well, now the case is under investigation, you can't comment on it anymore. Yeah, okay. And when the case is over, what's your comment going to be? I made a mistake. Oh. More like a giant middle finger to everybody else who's shut down right now. Anyway, D, I want to thank Chicago Tribune editorial board. Good job, guys. Now I know what the password was.
There you go.
To get into Insiders.
Next time, use that password and bring me some cinnamon rolls. All right, that's our local news, everybody. Coming up, we're going to be talking.
There are still folks who think that women should make as much money.
Alexi, come on. Interrupting us. We're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, legendary Chicago journalist Monroe Anderson. I have a suspicion of what he may be talking about. Ben, what is he going to be talking about?
We'll be talking Trump, and Trump.
What in 2021 will we be talking Trump,
Yes.
Trump, and Trump?
I'm not done talking Trump. I just got finished saying I'll be talking Tom Tunney and Cinnamon Roll Gate for 6 months. I think Trump is worth double that. So we'll be talking Trump. Even though Ice Cube has instructed me to stop talking about Trump. Don't talk about Trump anymore. And Jimmy Dore, stop talking about Trump. Sorry, Jimmy. I got it, man. Got to work it out of my system.
All right, everybody.
I think Jimmy Dore will let me talk about Trump for another year. Please, Jimmy.
It's coming up now. Michael Girardi. We'll be right back.
Don't you worry how the campaign's getting Read the Chicago Reader to get up to speed on what's what in Chicago. Culture, food, arts and entertainment, weekly concert listings, weekly event listings, the environment, travel. I can continue, but you get the point. And for all of you Chicago political junkies, raw weekly columns on real city politics from Maya Dukmasova and our very own Ben Joravsky. The Chicago Reader, free to the public in newsstands throughout the city and online at chicagoreader.com. Read it now and be a more informed Chicagoan.
The Andersonville Chamber of Commerce hosts Andersonsville at home for the holidays. Wait, hold on. Let me add this here. There we go. It's a virtual variety show streaming online this Sunday, December 13th at 7 p.m. Once again, the Chamber of Commerce hosts Andersonville at home for the holidays. Tune it for holiday tunes, warm feels, and shop, dine, celebrate, and self-care with intention massages direct from the small business community that needs your support. I said massages, but it's messages. Oh, boy. Intention messages direct from the small business community that needs your support. The program premieres on both the Chamber's Facebook and YouTube with live commenting during the show. For more information, go to andersonville.org. The Andersonville Chamber of Commerce and Andersonville at home for the holidays. Hour number 2 of your Ben Joravsky Show is brought to you by the Chicago Reader and the Chicago Federation of Labor. Benny J, take it away.
It's Wednesday on the Ben Joravsky Show, and that means one thing. Monroe Anderson, the pride and joy of Gary, Indiana, is joining us. The pride and joy of Roosevelt High School in Gary, perhaps the most distinguished grad that high school has ever had, Monroe Anderson. Monroe, I was going to talk to you about Ice Cube and Black MAGA supporters as the first thing. But then I saw this email while I was waiting to come on, and I have to share it with you. So we didn't discuss this, Monroe, in our pre-show planning, but this email is like blowing my mind on many ways, okay? So follow me in this. You ready, Monroe?
I'm ready.
All right. So as you know, there's a special election in Georgia coming up, 2 Senate seats that will determine who runs the Senate, Mitch McConnell or Joe Biden, effectively, all right?
Right.
And one of the candidates is a black man, Raphael Warnock. Okay. Yes. So the MAGA has to somehow or other exploit white fears about black people without just coming right out. And
sometimes they come right out, but
all right, so
many times they come right out.
They come right. You're right. This is pretty right out. So let me just share this with you and get your thoughts on this one. It comes from Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's a newly elected congresswoman in Georgia, who's a QAnon supporter and is batshit crazy. All right. Yeah, right. And the headline is "Racist Raphael Warnock." Okay, he's the racist Raphael Warnock. There's a picture of him standing behind Barack Obama, just to make sure everybody knows what's going on here. And it's addressed, "Fellow Patriot. My name is Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I am working with the Stop Socialism Now PAC to win the critical Senate runoffs here in the Peach State. The Democrat running for the Senate seat against Senator Kelly Loeffler is Raphael Warnock. He is a racist who hates America, and we cannot allow him to be U.S. Senator." And to prove her point, she says, Raphael Warnock hides behind the title of Reverend. Well, he probably is a reverend, but whatever. But his background is shocking. In his 2013 book, Warnock praises Marxism and castigates, quote, white capitalistic forces. His mentor, the late James Howe Cone, was a controversial black theologian who labeled white Christians as racist. And finally, this one, Warnock has repeatedly praised and defended, get ready, Monroe, who they're dragging out from the closet, Jeremiah Wright. Oh, I hadn't heard that name in a while. Jeremiah Wright. Right. White people want to scare, when they want to scare white people, bring out Jeremiah Wright. I'm surprised Farrakhan's not in here. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I know. Now, did she forget that he's the pastor of Dr. King's church?
She did not mention that. Yes.
I wonder why.
Yeah, but there is a picture of him in his pastor robes standing behind Barack Obama.
Yeah,
So, but she deals with that by saying Warnock hides behind the title, and then they have it in quotes, Reverend. Like, whoa, the title Reverend.
Oh yeah, no. I used to hear that when I was at the Tribune about Jesse Jackson. He's no minister. He's no reverend. And he did go to a divinity school. So at least he's had some training.
Yeah. Well, that is like a common refrain.
Right. No, it's whatever black men are to white races, they aren't. So I mean, because they want to reduce you to the lowest common denominator they can. So I have right wingers who attack me and say I'm a hack and I'm not a journal. Oh, in fact, you got hit the other day by one of them. He said neither of us are journalists. So-called journalists.
I'm surprised it took him that long.
These are people who don't know the difference between your and your.
Yeah, man. I'm surprised it took him that long. Monroe, everybody, I did not have a Facebook post, just saying, today. Usually I read his Facebook posts. Although one week he had it, didn't tell me about it. I didn't read it until after the show.
Right.
But anyway.
That went so well. I said, let me take the trainer wheels off a bit.
After 4 years of this, he's taking the training wheels. See, falls on his face. So as I like to point out, one of my favorite things is to when I'm really got nothing else to do, I'll go to Monroe's Facebook page and check out his exchanges with MAGA. These MAGA people want to do battle with him, and so anyway, it gives me some insights.
Yeah. So according to my MAGA friends, the election was stolen, and Biden is not the president-elect, and we're gonna find out any day now that Trump won. That they stole. They have these 100,000 ballots that somehow were pumped into the system via Dominion, some computer company. They have all these tales that Trump has made up, or Trump's people have made up, or QAnon has made up, and they circulate because they're in this bubble, this bubble where they tell each other lies and they believe each other's lies, and so that's the truth. And anything outside of that, they really believe the mainstream media is fake.
Yeah.
And that Fox and Newsmax are giving them.
I'm just a little disappointed that it took them this long to throw me in the mix with you. Okay, I wish they had done that earlier. Hey, come on, what about me?
Right, exactly. No, birds of a feather flock together. Non-journalists.
But Monroe, I have to say this, and I talk so much about Tim Scott, the senator, the Republican senator from South Carolina, who's always crying that he's being picked on because he's a black man who supports Donald Trump.
Right.
But where's Tim Scott to defend Warnock? Where's Tim Scott? This is one of the most directly racist appeals I've seen, where you call a black man a racist.
But they've also criticized him, Warnock, for some of his sermons, what was said in them. And in fact, he was quoting the Bible in the sermon. But, and I don't remember what the exact quotes were. I'm not a real Bible person. But let's say if he was saying an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
Yeah.
If he said that in his sermon, it would turn up in their chatter as he wanted to make all white people blind and toothless.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how they would do it. You're absolutely correct. Now, I'm a baby boomer, so my mind was fixed by elections that occurred in the 80s. and the late 70s. Tom Bradley in 1982, I think it was not elected governor of California when the quiet white vote came out against him. Tom Bradley, the former mayor of Los Angeles, a black man. Yes. Harold Washington in 1983, lifelong white Democrats went and voted for Bernie Epton rather vote. So this is the kind of thing that I'm rooted in this. Jesse Jackson stirred up so much paranoia and fear among white people when he ran for president. Do you think in the year 2020, Monroe Anderson, that these blatantly racist appeals to the worst fears that white people have about black people will work in Georgia?
I don't think so. But this might be one of my optimistic times. But I don't think so because, first of all, the South has changed. You have a lot of former Northerners who've moved there for the warmer weather. And a lot of companies have moved there because there's no unions. They can avoid unions and paying people living wages. And so and Trump was trying to save white housewives in the suburbs. They needed to vote for him for that reason. Well, the truth of the matter is the suburbs, this is not your grandfather's suburbs. It was just white women in house coats or sexy nightgowns or something, waiting on their husband to come home from work to give him a martini and dinner, and then do something to him. Who knows what?
I don't know what you've been watching. Ad Man.
Right, exactly. But anyway, the suburbs now have black women. They have Asian women, they have Hispanic women, they have interracial couples. I mean, it's mixed now. Not perfectly, not everywhere, but lots of places. It's mixed. Chicago has black suburbs. Black suburbs are basically black, not completely, but like Flossmoor as an example. So you can't, that stereotypical thinking does not work anymore.
Well, obviously, it must.
Just real quick, if you watch Marty, well, God, I'm blanking on his name. The guy who's on GN who has the couples that they give parenting tests and whatever.
Maury Povich.
Oh, yeah. Povich.
Anyway, if you watch his show, you see interracial couples on that show, and that's MAGA territory as far as I'm concerned.
Wait, hold on. And I'm exposing my utter ignorance here, and I apologize. Is Maury Povich still on?
Yeah, Maury. That's what they are. Yes.
Maury, is his TV show still on? I did not know that.
Yes, it's still on.
What a character that dude is.
Maury 90 years old, and he's still doing the DNA test.
Yeah, no, I've been known to watch a Maury Povich show from time to time.
The reason I'm familiar with it is half this household watches it periodically.
Man, he's just covering up. With the whole thing on, what's his name? Is it Marty? I don't remember. Man, he subscribes to the Maury Povich home network. He gets updates on his phone. Maury Povich. No, I know what you're saying, man. They got the and he loves interracial couples because that that fires up both sides. You know what I'm saying, Monroe?
Right. But the thing is that America has changed along those lines. The worst fear of the segregationists from the 50s and 60s has happened. And race mixing is going on out there.
Yeah. That's exactly what Maury's emphasizing. That's the game he's playing. He's pretending like he doesn't care, but he knows, like, his audience, black and whites, they're all pissed off. And if it's a black man if it's a black man married a white woman, you know what I mean? There'll be black women who are going,
No,
that's what he gets.
Most are not married.
That is, that's a valid
No,
point.
seriously.
Monroe Anderson loves Maury Povich. I cannot share your faith. I'm feeling a little better. Obviously, they wouldn't have made this email appeal pitch for Marjorie Taylor Greene. One more time, folks, the QAnon supporter who just elected to Congress. They wouldn't make that pitch.
QAnon is a racist organization.
Yeah.
So she's repeating the gospel.
Yeah.
And they voted for her, yes, but her little corner of the world is not all of the state. So Georgia went for Biden over Trump.
Yes, it's true. It was close, but it did.
Yeah, it was close. Yeah, 12,000 votes. And the thing is, for the past 10 years, Georgia has been steadily working to get the vote out for Democrats. I mean, they've been signing people up. They've been doing all this work. So they have an incredible ground operation. And this, as with any election like this, runoff election, it's a get off the vote election. It's not an ideal, it's not my ideas are better than yours, or my program is better than yours, or anything like that. It's whoever can get out.
Yeah, you're right.
Voters. And the Democrats are saying that they are ready. They had 1 million people get early ballots to vote by mail or vote early in Georgia. Now,
I saw that.
The thing is, though, we don't know if some of the Trump people figured out that they got hoodwinked.
Yeah, no, MAGA woke up on that one.
Exactly.
MAGA like, huh? We get to vote early too?
Exactly. Because Trump and the Republicans have changed their tune.
Oh, yeah. They're singing it in the song now.
Are good.
Yeah.
Are sort of good, because they also are working to have it where you can have, the Republicans are working to have it where you can have mail-in votes.
No, the Republicans are working from the assumption, Monroe, follow me in this, and I don't know if they have any studies to back it up, that Democratic voters are less likely to have IDs than Republican voters.
Right.
And I have no idea if that's true. But if you're passing all these laws, now they're talking about all these laws, voter ID laws, even tougher and harder than they were before to crack down on quote unquote on the fraud.
Right.
MAGA may be screwed in that one too. You get what I'm saying? Some MAGA voters may not have the IDs that they need. I'm just saying, I don't know if a study has been done that shows that Democratic voters are any more likely.
Well, this is the situation, is that Republicans are the minority, period. They, the last 4 presidential elections, they've only won the popular vote once. The other times they lost the popular vote. And it's the electoral colleges that are keeping them in power. And redlining. No, I mean, not redlining.
Gerrymandering.
Gerrymandering. And that's how they're staying in power.
Yeah.
It's through that, not because they have the majority of the people. And their base is shrinking year by year.
Well, I hope you're correct, and I hope that it is a new South. But when I saw that appeal and it popped up right before you came on, I thought, oh my God, this is this reminds me of Bernie Epton before it's too late.
No, right. Yeah, no, we've discussed this before, and it remains the same, that the Republicans play hardball.
Yeah.
The woman who quit, I forgot her name, in the South, she quit because she said that they were lying about the COVID virus, and she quit. And they raided her house. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. By the way, the quote of the day, which I wrote down, I'm going to use, and maybe I'll give you credit for it, I don't know, is whatever black men are to white racists, they aren't. That is so freaking true, Monroe. That's like they go, Reverend Warnock, in quotes. Like the man didn't go to college.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That the man's not a distinguished clergyman. He's the leader of one of the most important, significant churches in America. And they got it in quotes.
Right. And there's still a civil rights movement for some strange reason in the South. And these guys know each other and they work together. They have a network. And actually the white racists know who they are too. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, the Civil War is not over yet.
Yeah.
We keep getting closer and closer, but
please. All right. Now, yesterday on the show, our dear friend Sergio Mims was on. He went on a couple of incredible riffs. And he did something I told you already that no guest has ever done. In real time, while talking to me, he was interacting on the live feed. I'm not sure I should give him credit or what, but it's quite.
Well, see, like Trump, Sergio makes it up. So
oh, stop it now, Sergio. That was Monroe who said that, not me. But he went on a great riff about black voters, black men in particular. It's one of his favorite themes that black men have been unfairly maligned. That's his view by being accused of being for Trump. And I agree with him, actually, because the actual voting results to me show time and time again that the black vote for Donald Trump or any Republican is minuscule. And said that what happens is that a handful of black celebrities who support Trump are turned into like a mass appeal. So, for instance, Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? It's black men are for Trump because they saw Ice Cube say it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the thing is, let's go with what's being stated. Mm-hmm. It's stated that 12% of black men support Trump, and they're bragging about that. Well, what about that other 88%?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I mean, literally, that's what they do. It's like, well, Trump got 12%, or sometimes it's 20%. But whatever it is, it's still a minority.
Yeah.
I don't care how you try and play it. And blacks, the black vote kicked him out of office.
Absolutely.
Where blacks did not show up for Hillary in 2016. This year, Milwaukee showed up, Detroit showed up, Philadelphia showed up in strong numbers, and bye-bye, baby.
Yeah, bye-bye, baby, indeed. All right, well, I watched Ice Cube's video, so you didn't have to. You're welcome.
I was trying to find it. I couldn't find it.
Well, you just have to go to his Twitter page, and I have a fascination with Ice Cube. He got into a lot of hot water with some of his fans. He didn't come right out and endorse Trump, but he came pretty close.
Right.
So he gave, it's a 5-minute video that he did. He put it on his Twitter. So you just go to Ice Cube's Twitter page, you'll find it. And he essentially criticizes the haters. That's, like the people who that criticized him.
Right, I know.
And he said,
and the black people that support Trump, I classify as self-haters. So, but it's just me.
Yes, you've been saying that for a long time.
Right.
So it begs this question, and the point that he makes, I'm going to do my best to summarize his point, is that he's been unfairly maligned for being overly concerned about his taxes. He's a very wealthy man,
right?
A very successful businessman.
Right.
And he goes well beyond rapping or music. I mean, he's a producer, he's an entrepreneur, movie star, director, etc. He's a very successful businessman. And so it's more, he says, than about taxes. He's really concerned about the Black community, and he thinks that the Democrats don't do enough for the Black community, and so he doesn't want to be.
Yeah, that's a Black Republican argument, because there's what they do is accuse regular Blacks of being on the Democratic plantation, and that they ought to be free. And Stephanie Trussell is one of them, for example. This is a Black woman who used to have a radio show, and she's a Black conservative. And she talked about how Blacks in Illinois ought to get off of the plantation. And I pointed out to her, I said, well, we have a Black woman mayor. We have a Black woman Cook County president. We have a Black woman assistant governor. And we have a Black man
attorney general.
So,
and a Black woman who is state's attorney.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly. I forgot about her. So, said, what kind of plantation is this?
Yeah.
Plus, Democrats had a Black president. Trump had one Black person in his cabinet.
Yeah.
So I mean, their argument doesn't even make sense. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
When they try to support the Republicans.
Well, I remember when State Representative Ken Duncan, who's a lifelong Democrat, had a falling out with Michael Madigan.
Right.
And went over to Bruce Rauner. He didn't officially change parties, but he effectively changed parties.
Right.
And he denounced his critics as being on Michael Madigan's plantation. And I remember I think it was Christian Mitchell, there was another state rep, said, you just went from one plantation to another plantation. You're on Rauner's plantation. So it's an interesting metaphor to use. It's as though no Black person has an independent mind of his or her own. You follow what I'm saying?
Right. Oh, I know. No, my Trump nuts, who I fight with, they periodically accuse me of just going along with whatever the Democrats say. It's like I've been brainwashed by the Democrats, and I point out to them that I am a thought leader. I've been quoted in books, things that I've said. So I'm not exactly sitting around waiting on the next suggestion from Biden or something.
Yeah. No, and as I've learned through many years, you criticize Democrats. Like we've had many arguments over my beloved Bernie Sanders down through the years.
Right.
All right.
And I was attacking your beloved Daley back in the early 80s when I was writing a column for the Tribune.
Not my beloved Daley, okay. That's for sure. Not my beloved Daley. My beloved Bernie Sanders, but not my beloved Daley. All right, let's talk about the desperation of one Donald John Trump as he heads out of office. Never seen anything like this, Monroe Anderson. Every day he gets wackier.
Right.
His cohorts get wackier.
Wait. I really should be ashamed of myself for doing this, but I'm doing it anyway. Wasn't I telling you 6 months ago that he was going to lose and he's going to get wackier by the day as he lost?
Yes. You said it 4 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Of course, you were saying he was going to get impeached, but whatever. Yeah, you were saying that.
Get impeached. He didn't get removed.
He did get impeached.
Because I underestimated the evil of the Republicans in the Senate.
No, all right. I've been thinking about this. Didn't talk to you about this in our pre-show planning session, but let me just throw this at you. There was an interesting essay I read somewhere that was urging Democrats not to indict Trump or prosecute Trump for all his crimes as president, because that would just keep this current battle going and turn him into a martyr to MAGA. Even more of a martyr than he already is. And so, for instance, I think it was the New York Times was editorializing about how Donald Trump should pay a price. There should be a consequence for his behavior in this post-election period where he's sowing such distrust in our system. And I kind of agree with the first point of view that let it go on the prosecution of Donald Trump for what he did as president, but it's fair game what he did before he was president, and really while he was president as a quote unquote businessman ripping off the government. Your thoughts on this?
He has done so much wrong. I mean, he's done so many criminal things. Mm-hmm. You know, I've referred to him as a one-man crime wave. I think you have at the White House from Florida now. He's going to do it. If we put him in prison, they're going to be there. He has no power. Well, then he will fade. And so I don't think Biden should go at him because that would heighten his importance. Mm-hmm. But the New York people can get him.
So that's what you're saying. You're saying that for the fraud that he committed, allegedly, on the business front with his tax dodges and his erroneous statements.
He was committing fraud. He's been committing fraud and doing schemes and money deals and illegal things continuously. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think it was Reverend Al that said that we don't have to worry about it. He was a crook, and crooks don't quit being crooked. Once he gets out of the White House, he's still going to be doing crooked things. He was doing crooked things while he was in there. He's corrupt to the bone.
Yeah.
So he's an easy target. Whatever they choose to go at him from whatever angle.
Yeah, I'm with you.
He lies just constantly. You know, I mean, he knows he hasn't won the election, but he keeps insisting that he has, that it was stolen from him. And the Trump nuts who are cult go, he won.
Yeah.
We know, everybody I know voted for him and thinks he's wonderful. So how did he get 80 million votes? Where'd those 80 million votes come from? Because all the people I know love Trump.
Yeah. No, it's a little hard for them to take. I should almost feel sorry for them. All right, now I'm gonna pose a question to you that I asked myself at the outset of the show, and it's based on the front page of today's Sun-Times. Sun-Times cast doubt on the vaccine that's coming out. And they have a picture on the front page saying she's not sure if she will be vaccinated because she's a little concerned that it's only been several months of test results that they have to study the vaccine as opposed to years, which is generally the case. I'm looking for my paper. Here it is. Oh, yeah. Shot or not is the Sun-Times headline. How about those bright one headline writers? All right, Monroe, do you trust the vaccine?
I don't trust the vaccine. I trust the scientists. And I'm not talking about the ones who are at Pfizer or something like that. But I'm telling you about Fauci and all those people who have been skeptical, who have been saying what we need to do, and now they've been converted to the virus. You know, they're saying as soon as it comes out, they're going to get it.
To the vaccine, you mean?
Yeah. No?
They become converted to the vaccine. That's
Yeah,
what you meant. Okay.
to the vaccine. That is good. That is good science. And I think I said, I'm pretty sure I said this on the last show, that we knew about the DNA code to the virus on January 9. Because the Chinese released it to the world, put it on the internet, so that all the scientists could go after it. They've been working on a vaccine. I mean, they didn't just start working on a vaccine for the coronavirus months ago. They've been working on it for years, and they were getting close anyway. So, I mean, this is not, you know, it's sort of like with certain movie stars and rock stars where they became an overnight success.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't factor in that they were working cheap bars and whatever, practicing in their garage or basement for years before they got to where they were suddenly discovered. I think the short answer to your question is yes.
Okay.
I'll take it.
All right, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let you take it first. I'll watch it for about a week with you, and then if all's well, I'll get it. You and I are basically in that same age group where we're considered high risk, so we could be among the first they offer it to.
Right. No, not the first. No, they're going to give us. They have a really solid scheme for this too. Plan. They're going to give it to frontline workers and seniors in nursing homes first, because they're most at risk. And then we're in group 2. The old folks who actually they're going to work by age down more than likely. The 90-year-olds will get it, then the 80-year-olds, then us, me, then you know, and then at one point by the end of summer, everybody's supposed to have it.
Well, I was hoping, like I said, I already said this in the show, when I saw news of the people in Britain getting vaccinated, it's like, oh yeah, it's the beginning of the end. And maybe by next year, I'll be going to movies and Bulls games again.
Yeah, no, by next year you will. Yeah, by next year you will. It's I've been reading and watching reactions from different people, and all the scientists are going, wow. You know, because it has a 95% efficiency rate on it, whereas the regular flu virus is in the 80s somewhere, I think. So
I get I get the flu shot every year. So
yeah,
I go to the doc, and the thing is that it's something about the doctor. I had it. The nurse, I had it. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna close.
Yeah.
We'll close now with your evaluation. We're going to make the transformation slowly from Trump to Biden, although I got a feeling Trump talk will always be part of our conversation.
No, hopefully.
Well, yeah, Trump's not going anywhere, Monroe Anderson, I can tell you.
Hopefully he's going to prison.
Yes, Trump and Orange. So you're
here to talk to us on a 60-minute special.
You're pretty. You got good vibes about Joe Biden's cabinet selection so far.
Oh no, I mean, people are going gaga over the quality of people that he's got. You know, the advantage to just being out of office for 4 years is the band hasn't broken up yet. You can bring the band back. Whereas, if it's 8 years, then they've scattered to the wind. And so they have all these people that they can draw from, all of whom know better than Trump's cronies and sycophants that he put into these positions because he just wanted his ego struck. So we're going to have really top. The main challenge is if we don't win Georgia, then Mitch is going to be our worst nightmare. Because what he's going to try and do is block everything for 4 years, so that, and hoping that the Republicans can get it back again.
Yeah.
And plus Trump is saying he's going to run. I think he's BSing, but
no, I think he intends to run. I mean, it's staying active in politics for him at this age is the best scam he's got going. And I'll close by telling you where I started talking about just the cherry on the top of Trump scams. The person who owns the childhood home where Donald Trump spent the first 4 years of his life in Queens is stuck with a piece of property that she can't sell for the price that she wants, the $3 million that she wants for it. So what she's doing is a GoFundMe page campaign in which she's asking MAGA to donate money to her. Follow me on this. And when she makes $3 million, which is essentially the asking price that she can't make on an open market, she'll take that $3 million and then turn the property over to Donald Trump as a gift from MAGA to Donald Trump, his childhood home. Like Donald Trump wants that thing.
Right, exactly.
And it's like, I bet she makes that $3 million. And that just shows you how deep the connection Donald Trump has with his supporters. I don't think he can give that up, Monroe. I think he's going to be living off that for the next 4 years. Your thoughts?
I don't. I mean, I don't readily dismiss it, but I think that once he's out of power, that he will fade away. He's going to try to stay current. He's trying to be an influencer, but at some point, his crazy, wacky, lying opinions are not going to have anything to him because he won't be able to deliver. And it'll be obvious. Example, he will attack the vaccine.
Yes.
Once he
absolutely. Yes, you are right on that.
But as the vaccine works and people go back to work and go to the movies and games or what have you, then his saying it doesn't work is not going to be very convincing. Yesterday he called it a miracle, and if you're right. He's perfectly capable of just flip-flopping, or he'll take all the credit for it. As though he himself were in a laboratory mixing chemicals. Right. No, that's what he was doing yesterday. He was taking credit for it. He wanted to make sure Joe Biden didn't get the credit.
All right. Very good. All right, Monroe, stay safe and sound. We'll talk to you next week, okay?
All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. That's the great Monroe Anderson. Dennis, you got any updates for me?
Absolutely, I do. Let's do the back half here. And yes, people, we have breaking news.
Oh.
This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine.
All right, the Fran Spielman Sun-Times headline reads, Lightfoot plans free vaccinations next year for all adults living and working in Chicago. I'm going to put the scary music down. I don't want to freak anybody out talking about vaccines with the scary music in the background. Mayor Lightfoot on Wednesday outlined plans to distribute free coronavirus vaccines next year to all adults who live and work in Chicago, beginning with frontline health workers and employees of long-term care facilities, many of whom who are minorities. If Federal Drug Administration approval goes as planned, Pfizer's vaccine Thursday, Moderna's next week, the Chicago Department of Public Health expects to receive 23,000 doses later this month, with additional doses every week after that. Here's the quote from Dr. Allison Arwardi this afternoon saying, quote, we're anticipating in the month of December somewhere in the 100,000 to 150,000 range. We're ready for twice that. We're ready for half that. Health Commissioner Allison Arwadi said. During the first week, the vaccine will be distributed to Chicago's 34 hospitals to begin vaccinating, quote, highest-risk healthcare workers. That includes those treating COVID patients or working in intensive care units. During the second or third week, the city also anticipates rolling out vaccines to staff and residents at all 128 long-term care facilities in Chicago, including both skilled nursing and assisted care facilities. In late December or early January, the city plans to open, quote, mass vaccination sites by appointment only for the remainder of the 400,000-strong universe of healthcare workers who are not based in hospitals.
When did the teachers get theirs, does it say?
I sent you the link, but I'm looking. I don't see anything.
Yeah. Huh, that's interesting. Teachers don't get theirs. All right. Before I go off on Mayor Lightfoot and the teachers. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, D? You think they're gonna make good on this one? Every adult, is that what it says? Every adult in the city of Chicago?
Every adult's living, comma, working in Chicago.
Living, working in Chicago. So I have to parse this. I haven't seen this story. And I was interviewing Monroe, so I didn't have time to read what you sent me. So I'm like, Sergio, I can't do two things at once. I'm a little skeptical about this. So the working in Chicago, does it mean if you live and work in Chicago, or it's one or the other? So if it's like people coming in from the suburbs, they're getting it too from the city of Chicago? I have a hard time believing that, but it would have been nice if she had just thrown out the Lightfoot administration's thing about Chicago teachers. I don't quite understand. I know it resonates with voters. I see that there's a lot of hate for teachers and the Chicago Teachers Union out there. I see that letters to the editors blasting teachers. And, so if you say something nasty about teachers, you pretty much guaranteed you're going to get a favorable editorial in the Chicago Tribune, and maybe even my beloved bright one, the Sun-Times. So it's curious that she didn't mention teachers in that. I mean, if you're going to open up the schools, they are frontline workers.
And they're living in Chicago.
So they have to live in Chicago.
I'm thinking teachers are included in that, right?
Yeah, but they specified the people who were getting it up front. I was just listening to the story that you read as you read it. I have not read it myself independently. And they were specifying the people up front who were getting it. It didn't mention teachers, frontline workers like in a hospital or whatever, nursing homes, who all deserve it, not saying anything. So I'm going to overcome my nervousness and fear of the vaccine based on the Sun-Times headline. It's so funny. Now the Sun-Times is saying, yay, take it. And this morning they got the nurse on the front page saying, shot or not shot. So I got to overcome that. D, I got a fear of shots anyway, needles. I haven't ever shared that with you. That's why I don't have tattoos covering my body.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine me with a tattoo? Oh, God.
What would you get? What would you get? A tattoo? If you had to get a tattoo, what would you get?
Oh, man, I hadn't thought of that. I don't know. Who's my would I get who do I love more than anybody? Norm Van Leer from the Chicago Bulls, my favorite Bull of all time. A little Norm Van Leer tattoo. Right. Love Norm Van Leer, my childhood hero. Later a friend of mine. So I don't know. Jimi Hendrix. Love Jimi Hendrix.
I think you should go the hipster route. Get an avocado and cheese sandwich tattoo.
Oh, man. Got me salivating, man, because when we're done with the show, right downstairs. What you do? All right, D, what you do? Follow me on this now. Take a piece of cheese, any cheese, put it on a cracker, any cracker.
Okay.
Put it in the microwave, 22 seconds.
23 seconds?
24. Let's make it 24.
Okay, 24 seconds.
You want the cheese to melt, okay? Then you take it out of the microwave and take that avocado and smear it on top of it. You put a little hot mustard on. All right. That's good. Okay?
Hey, would you like to tell everybody about your latest Chicago Reader column out now at chicagoreader.com?
Thank you for asking. And it relates to the whole issue of the teachers. I was struggling with this because last week, Mayor Lori Lightfoot and Janice Jackson, who is the CEO of the Chicago Public Schools, gave an ultimatum to the teaching force of Chicago. And they said, we're opening those schools and you're going to go back in that classroom. And if you don't like it, and you don't show up, we're going to fire you. Okay? Hold on, train going by. Let me see if Rom's driving it. It's Tom Tunney driving the train. That's funny. He's got a cinnamon roll. So I gave that ultimatum last week. I've been following Chicago public school leaders and mayors dealing with the public schools for many years, many years. Before that, before I was a working journalist in the city of Chicago, my mother was a public school teacher. So I would listen to her tell stories about the bureaucrats who run the public school system. So I had to ask myself, if I were a Chicago public school teacher, would I trust CPS to set up a safe haven? Now, I know, D, all the epidemiologists are all saying schools are not super spreaders. You can go back to schools. We should open up the school. I know that's what they're saying, D. And I know that many Democrats, liberals, it's a favorite theme of liberals. I think every New York Times columnist is compelled to say, open up the schools. And they always say this because they're so worried about the divide, the inequity between poor kids and wealthy kids. And I share their concern. And I would like to point out, and this will not be the first time I point this out, nor will be the last time. I would like to point out your concerns about the inequities that exist in our public school system, that exist in our school system as a whole, should not be limited to moments when the teachers and their teachers' unions are protesting some policy that's getting shoved down their throats. Just putting that out there. Like when the teachers say, we need more nurses in our public schools, pause to let Brown line pass. When the teachers say we need more social workers in our public schools, when the teachers say we need more librarians in our public schools, or we need art, or we need drama, you should not say to them, shut up, get back in those classrooms. The kids need to be in school. Why is there only a concern by the powers that be in this country about the inequities in our school system when teachers are protesting against something that they're being forced to do? I'm just wondering that. So for instance, in case of the pandemic, absolutely, it's really unfair. It's exacerbating an inequity that exists. So poor kids who don't have access to tutors or can't go into what those little pods that parents are setting up where they bring in a teacher to tutor their kids, like groups of kids and everybody's safe. Yes, it's a disadvantage. And they're further falling behind. Yes, every year they fall further behind. And this pandemic's exacerbating that. So here's a piece of it. I don't know, the vaccine on the horizon. Here's a radical thought. Why not triple the amount of money spent on poor kids in school so that we can bridge these inequities, bridge these gaps? I don't know. Why don't you fight for poor kids at a moment other than when you're trying to beat up teachers? That's just my thought, D, on that issue alone. So going back, do I trust them? I tell the story in my column about one Chicago public school teacher who is pregnant and doesn't wants to be exempted from having to go back to the classroom. And you just read that story and ask yourself, do you trust the Chicago public schools to do the right thing by their teachers? I will point out again that Mayor Lori Lightfoot is at a metaphorical war with the Chicago Teachers Union. We talk about this all the time, D. She cannot stand Stacey Davis Gates. And I wouldn't be surprised if Stacey Davis Gates feels the same way about Lori Lightfoot, although whenever she comes on the show, D, she doesn't come out and say that, you know? I wouldn't be surprised at this point if the Chicago Teachers Union is looking for someone to run against Lori Lightfoot. These two forces have been at each other's throats since the runoff, when it was Lori Lightfoot against Tony Preckwinkle, and the teachers union threw down hard behind Tony Preckwinkle. So I understand that Lori Lightfoot has a tremendous animosity toward the Chicago Teachers Union. That's pretty clear. But I think she should put it aside. I think she should put it aside at this moment. And I think she should reach out to the teachers union and bring them in to City Hall and deal with them the way she deals with the restaurants and show as much, forgiveness to the teachers union as she does to Tom Tunney, who voted against her budget and yet still is chairman of the zoning committee, who opened up his restaurant in violation of J.B. Pritzker's order and Lori Lightfoot's order, and still gets to be head of the zoning committee, still gets to be one of the most powerful politicians in the city of Chicago, even though he blatantly violated the rules about indoor dining. Show the compassion toward Stacey Davis Gates that you show for Tom Tunney. And then I might have a little more confidence in CPS's ability, or whether CPS actually cares about the members of the Chicago Teachers Union who they are asking to go back to the classroom. So, D, that's what I wrote about in my latest Reader column.
It's the latest Chicago Reader column from Ben Joravsky right now at chicagoreader.com. To trust or not to trust? That is the question. The Ben Joravsky column, chicagoreader.com. Go check it out. Ben, you have some tattoo ideas from the live stream chat room.
Okay.
I hope you're writing these down. All right, we have from Michael Girardi. He says, what about a Trumpocrat blogo tat?
I'm a Trumpocrat.
The Trumpocrats, that's right.
I like that. I like that.
I like it too, man. That's not bad.
How about, in honor of the Chicago Reader, not the band Korn, a backwards letter R?
Yes. Actually, that's who came up with that one? Girardi?
Also Michael Girardi.
That's an excellent one. Got my beloved Reader, been working for the Reader since the 80s, or writing for the Reader since the 80s. That's a great idea. Yes.
Let's see here. We got more Ben Joravsky tattoo ideas. Well, mine was a cinnamon roll, by the way.
No, sorry. I don't like them that much.
Oh, and a shout out to Brianna. Don't forget a porta potty tat.
Hold on, let me see, D. Yeah, it's still there, still orange. You know what, D? I should take a picture of it and put it on the Facebook page so everybody can see.
Yeah, absolutely. Let them see that. I mean, no one's seen a porta potty. Let them see that porta potty. No, but for real, people would love to see that. All right, so that's our show for today. Remember, you can follow us on social media at Benny J Show, BENNY, the letter J Show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can always send us an email, bennyjshow@gmail.com. Leave your name and where you're from. That's very helpful if you want us to read your comment on the program. And also, you can call the Ben Joravsky Show. It's true. 708-658-4788. That number again, 708-658-4788. Call the Ben Joravsky Show. Leave us a voicemail. And if it doesn't, creep us out, we'll play it on the show. So that's it.
All right, I want to thank Monroe Anderson. Outstanding job as he does every Wednesday. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the pride of Joravsky, Illinois, without whom the show would be possible. Back home in Alton, they call him Dr. D. Give yourself a raise, take it out of petty cash. See you tomorrow, everyone.
I'm a Trumpocrat.
That is correct.
I'm a Trumpocrat.
Trumpocrat, that's right.
That is correct.
This little light of mine